right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
We're calling on GM, Wentzville Assembly, Local 2250 in Region 4 to stand up and strike.
Breaking tonight, no deal. That is the message just minutes ago from the UAW president. That means in the next hour, members of the United Auto Workers at plants across the country will walk off the job in an unprecedented strike against all three major U.S. automakers. Good evening, I'm Ann Allred. Mike Bush has the night off. Our Laura Barczewski is live outside the Union Hall in Wentzville, one of three plants where workers are being asked to hit the picket lines.
Well, and GM put an offer on the table today, but as you said, at this hour, there is still no deal. The UAW International president announced his support of a strike just about an hour ago, and the mayor of Wentzville tells us Local 2250 could strike as soon as tonight. And they have been gathering here to start those preparations unless there is a last-minute deal. As we've seen before, the strike affects more than the employees, but the community stands together. For more than 6 years, Duke's barbecue owner Peter Venezia has been serving up pulled pork and brisket to General Motors workers.
You know, we see these guys, we know their names, they got their name tags on, and we know what they order. We know them when they call on the phone, so it's a really tight community here.
Venezia says he will continue to support his community, strike or no strike.
Like last time, we did a lot where we took water to the different strike points. We did some food for some of the people, and we would do that again, of course, if that would happen.
GM officials put an offer on the table Thursday, releasing this video statement.
Nobody wins in a strike. We all know that from hard experience. A strike negatively impacts lives and communities.
Here are a few things in their offer: a 20% wage increase over the life of the agreement, inflation protection, job security, and more paid time off.
This is an historic offer, best in the 115-year history of General Motors of bargaining, placing more than 75% of our team members amongst the top 15% earners in the U.S.
The mayor of Wentzville says these strikes affect the entire community.
And there are sub-suppliers that will affect. So it's a kind of a domino effect, if you will. And so if there's, some of the local businesses, some of the business falls off, well, they lay off people too as well. And so long term, we don't know. We don't know what the impact will be, but like I said, I'm hopeful that we can avoid that.
The contract ends at 10:59 tonight, and as I said earlier, local union workers have started showing up at the hall here to possibly prepare for this strike. Unless there is that last-minute deal, they could begin striking as soon as 11:30 tonight. Reporting live in Wentzville, Laura Barczewski, 5 on Your Side.
New developments tonight surrounding ongoing contamination concerns in the drinking water in St. Charles. The city has filed a restraining order to stop Ameren from drilling an extraction well at its Huster Road substation. That's located near the Elm Point well field. EPA test results revealed earlier this year that Ameren was responsible for contamination to the well field and ordered it cleaned up. A judge approved the stop work order until both parties can appear in court. Just a few hours ago, we received a statement from Ameren, Missouri. It reads in part, "The city of St. Charles continues to misrepresent the facts and to deliberately and intentionally delay ongoing remediation efforts." Tonight, a man is locked up and charged with murdering his own mother in Troy, Illinois. We've also learned the victim was the widow of the town's former mayor. Our Robert Townsend is here with new developments. Robert.
And the sudden death of Norma Carricker has devastated everyone who knew her. A close friend still cannot believe a woman she saw just 2 days ago at work is now dead. Neighbors say it's not the norm to see yellow crime scene tape wrapped around white picket fences at this home in Troy, Illinois. But it's here police found Norma Carricker dead.
We're very hurt, we're broken. It was very sudden. It took us all as a shock.
Police went to Carricker's home on Lower Marine Road around 1:30 Wednesday morning to perform a wellness check and discovered her body. Thursday afternoon, Madison County prosecutors charged Neil Howard with 2 counts of murder. According to court documents, Howard was the woman's son. He's accused of strangling his mother.
I'm hurt. She was a very loving, bright, kind soul. She would do anything for her friends and family.
Jenna Cooner says her friend was a beloved mom, grandma, and a dedicated waitress who worked at the Troy family restaurant for nearly a year. Norma celebrated her 60th birthday just last week. Cooner says Carricker was also a server at the Lucky Rooster restaurant in nearby St. Jacob.
She served the public. She would work every day she could. She was a very hard worker, and all she wanted to do was work.
Jenna says Carricker was also the widow of Troy's former mayor, Charles Tom Carricker, who died 5 years ago. This video was taken from a previous interview with the late mayor in 2003. Back in this neighborhood,
it makes me feel a little uneasy.
The murder of this popular woman in the town of more than 11,000 has hurt many. It's the second killing in Troy in the past 2.5 weeks.
In a small town like this, you really don't hear something like that so close together. I'm considering maybe moving.
Because I want her to have the justice she deserves.
Now, records also show in 2005, Neil Howard was charged with murder in Texas, but a grand jury later refused to indict him. Tonight, Howard remains in the Madison County Jail on a $300,000 bond. Tomorrow, he heads to court.
A Sumner High School student is dead after a shooting in North St. Louis. 16-year-old Antonio Thompson was shot and killed around 10 last night on Minerva Avenue near Goodfellow. So far, there are no arrests. St. Louis Public Schools say extra counselors will be on hand at Sumner to help students and staff. Just 90 minutes after that shooting, 2 young teens were hurt in a drive-by shooting in South City. A group of 3 teenagers say they were walking down Delore when a passing car opened fire. A 13-year-old was grazed in the head. A 14-year-old shot in the leg. Another 14-year-old was not hurt. Tonight, a former nursing assistant is accused of raping a patient at SSM Health DePaul Hospital. Prosecutors have charged Felix Mumba with rape and sodomy. The alleged crimes happened in April of 2022. Charging documents say DNA tied him to the crime. Mumba is being held on bond and is no longer allowed to work in healthcare. New tonight, the I-Team continues to investigate soaring car thefts. It's not a story about Hyundais and Kias, though. A brand new make, model, and method is becoming a favorite of thieves. Our Christine Byers on the new ring of car thefts using much higher tech.
This damage to Eric Dixon's car reminds him of a movie he didn't want to be in.
Gone in 60 seconds, remember that? I should have been an extra in that movie because my car was gone in 60 seconds.
He bought this Infiniti G60 less than 2 months ago.
I bought the car for my wife, and she was pretty excited. When we found the car, you know, it just made her day.
On August 13th,
we parked it in the driveway. Big mistake.
The next morning,
and I looked out the window, and it was just so casual. I'm like, sweetheart, where's your car? We both got up and came outside, and there was glass in the driveways.
The Dixons are not alone. Since April, the I-Team has learned 22 Infinitis have been stolen in unincorporated St. Louis County. That's 4 more that were stolen during all of last year. In St. Louis City, 68 have vanished so far this year, a 200% increase over last year.
Police statistics show most high-end cars get stolen when the keys are left inside. In a new twist, thieves don't need keys at all.
Joe Barbalia at Columbia Auto Repair says it's sophisticated but effective.
They're getting new key fobs, programming them through this system, and now it will start the car.
The devices aren't regulated, so anyone can buy them online even if they're not a mechanic. It isn't cheap.
The better the device, the more the cost. So it could be anywhere from up to $10,000, $12,000. They might steal a $80,000 car, $70,000 car. They could turn around and sell those cars.
In Dixon's case, the thieves damaged it. He has surveillance video. It's blurry, but shows that whoever took his car did it fast.
It was another guy in another car. They pushed it down to the end of the block, and they used some kind of device to start it up, and they was off with it.
It's unclear why Infinitis have been targeted. A spokesman for Infiniti tells the I-Team as thieves become more sophisticated, we are working to improve the security systems in our vehicles. Barbalia says most cars with key fobs are vulnerable.
It's an high-end criminal now. It's not like with the Kias and Hyundais that you just broke the window, busted a column, and USB port and took off. It's different.
St. Louis City and County Police declined the I-Team's request for an interview.
I think they should tell people. You want to tell people that, hey, they're still in this car, this is a hot car, so people can have an informed decision when they go out and purchase a vehicle.
St. Charles County, Jefferson County, and the Anti-Theft Task Force in Illinois told the I-Team they have not yet seen the problem, but it is on their radar. Police in other cities, including Memphis, are seeing a similar surge. For the I-Team, Christine Byers, 5 on your side.
Experts say the best way to protect cars from theft is a steering wheel lock like a car club. If you have a tip for Christine and the 5 on your side I-Team, leave her a voice message at 314-444-5231 or email Christine. The email is tips@ksdk.com. All calls and correspondence will be kept confidential. Affinia Healthcare Foundation held its annual Starburst Gala fundraiser tonight at the Stiefel Theater. Affinia provides funding and resources to support care and services for the most vulnerable and disenfranchised in our community. Several community leaders were recognized with Affinia's Advancing Equity Award, and 5 on Your Side is a sponsor of the event. Today in St. Louis, anchor Rennie Knott served as MC.
Spotting scams.
Can you hear me?
Tonight, we verify if that question is really a bad connection or a dial of deception. Twice in a lifetime, a rare opportunity along the mighty Mississippi returns for a second straight year. Tonight, the barrier on land keeping sightseers away.
Even if you see some rain this weekend, the odds are low that there's much of it. When we have to navigate a few showers, and the latest on Hurricane Lee as it heads towards New England.
Devastation tonight in Libya. More than 11,000 people are dead. Another 10,000 are missing after floodwaters poured through the port city of Derna. Rainfall from the Mediterranean storm Daniel caused 2 dams to collapse. In Chicago, at least 26 people are recovering after a large tent collapsed. Authorities say it happened during a company's employee appreciation event. Several of those employees are among the injured, and the cause is under investigation. New rules tonight surrounding duck boats, 5 years after 17 people died in Branson, Missouri. The U.S. Coast Guard is ordering window coverings and canopies be removed from World War II-era vessels retrofitted for tourist excursions. Passengers must also wear life jackets. The new rules apply to repurposed amphibious vehicles specifically built for land and water tours. Branson's Ride the Ducks attraction never reopened after the July 2018 tragedy. Tonight, the son of the President of the United States is facing federal gun charges. Special counsel David Weiss handed down the indictment today of Hunter Biden. It comes after a plea deal, which included tax charges, fell apart. Tonight, some Republican lawmakers say these charges are not enough. Democrats on Capitol Hill say it's proof the justice system is working.
If we weren't in the majority, nobody would be knowing anything about any of this stuff, and the Department of Justice was going to cover it up like they've been doing the last several years.
I don't think people should applaud the system when it works for Hunter Biden, but then try to tear the system down when it works for Donald Trump. I mean, both of them have been indicted on various charges. The presumption of innocence operates for both of them.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has launched an impeachment inquiry into Hunter Biden's overseas business dealings and whether it involves the president. Also today, a Georgia judge refused a request by prosecutors to try former President Donald Trump and his 18 co-defendants at once. They're charged with efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election results in Georgia. The judge says all but 2 co-defendants will have separate trials. Tonight, former President Trump is responding to his own indictment and that of Hunter Biden's.
It's a sad situation. I mean, nobody should be happy about this. I'm not happy about it. Nobody is. It's a very sad thing. It's so bad for our country. But, you know, if you think about it, I've been under investigation from the day I came down the escalator, and a phony investigation, fake investigations, investigations that I beat every single time, still under investigations.
That's part of an exclusive interview with NBC's Kristen Welker, the new host of Meet the Press. More of her interview will air Sunday morning at 8, right here on 5 on Your Side. Tonight, our Verified team is looking into a phone call many of you have received. But does your response put you at risk from scammers? Here's Ariande Till.
We've all been there. You get a call, and the person on the other end asks,
"Can you hear me?" The natural reaction is to respond yes or no. Several Verify readers have asked if this is a trick used by scammers. So let's verify. Our sources are the Military Consumer, a joint initiative by the Federal Trade Commission and the Department of Defense, the Federal Communications Commission, and the Better Business Bureau. Robocallers and spam callers have one main goal: to find out if the number they called is active. Their next goal is to sell your number to telemarketers and scammers. Our sources confirmed that a common way robocallers get you to respond is by asking, "Can you hear me?" If you respond to a robocall in any way, whether it's verbally or by pushing a button on your phone, the scammers know they've found an active number. According to the Military Consumer, by responding, you're more likely to be put on an active number list and to receive more robocalls and scams in the future. So, if this happens to you, your best bet is to just hang up. You've also likely heard that scammers can use your recorded voice to make fraudulent purchases. But that's just a rumor. The FCC and the BBB confirmed there are no publicly confirmed reports of consumers losing money to this type of scam. With your Verify, I'm Ariande Till.
What can we verify for you? Send an email. The email address, verify@ksdk.com. It was once called a once-in-a-lifetime event last year, but once again, low water levels on the Mississippi River means there's a land bridge to Tower Rock. However, tourists are being asked to stay away from the rock formation, located about 100 miles downriver from St. Louis and Perry County. That's because the access road is closed due to a construction of a gas pipeline. There's no estimated time for when that road will reopen. Let's get to Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell with your weather first forecast.
You know, we really have seen the low water in our area rivers, and, you know, the Mississippi is about 2 feet above its lowest level on record. So we'll keep watching it for you. It looks like it's kind of steady here, even though we're not seeing a whole lot of rainfall in the next few days. There are some showers and thunderstorms tonight, parts of Nebraska back into Colorado. That's our next weather system, but it has a good ways to go before it gets here. We still have a mainly clear sky around St. Louis, quite comfortable again tonight. The air is fairly dry across the region, and so temperatures, especially in the outlying areas, have been dropping off quickly. Edwardsville's down to 56, Troy, Illinois at 55, 58 in Millstadt, as well as in Arnold, 59 out in Washington, Missouri. Then we have the urban heat island effect here hanging around the metro area with temperatures generally in the upper 60s. Lambert coming in this hour with 70 degrees. Our dew point's 47, 82 and 57. That's the high and low for today. Average out just a little bit below average, taking both into account, although 82 is right on par for our normal high this time of year. So with the air being so dry, skies mainly clear, winds on the light side, 40s in the outlying areas again tomorrow morning, 50s in town. That means the mosquito forecast staying in that medium category here as we head towards the weekend. The lower humidity, mainly dry conditions, but those little critters are still out there, even though the heat and humidity aren't at this point. Low 80s, lots of sunshine tomorrow. How about your football games on a Friday night? Yeah, your high school games, better take that stadium blanket with you. Temperatures dropping into the lower 60s here towards the end of the game. It's mainly clear, winds will be light, so wind not an issue with the Friday night football games. Your shower and thunderstorm chances, they're there later Saturday afternoon into Saturday night. For most of us, we're not expecting much around the area. Then on Sunday, the system's pulling away. We'll see partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies developing Sunday afternoon, and it should be fairly quiet. In the tropics, northeast here, parts of New England, all of the Maine coast, Massachusetts, including Boston, out to Cape Cod, Nantucket, they have tropical storm warnings in effect. Our hurricane, it's Lee, expanding in that wind field, and it's those stronger winds that'll be pushing into the northeast here as we go into the weekend and then on into Canada. No effect, though, on our weather. Next 10 days, well, you have a little chance for rain on Saturday, late in the day, into the evening. So a small chance for a shower, rumble of thunder, and then another chance later in the week next week. Otherwise, temperatures are in the lower 80s for highs right into the weekend, a little warmer towards the middle of next week.
Looking like a great weekend.
Yes.
Scott, thank you. Here's Corey Miller with what's coming up in sports.
Well, St. Louis has some new Hall of Famers. A Blues player absolutely obliterated a baseball at Busch Stadium, and we'll hear from the most impressive high school football team in town. Stick around, sports is next.
The Sports Desk is sponsored by Jim Butler Chevrolet, the Midwest's #1 Chevy dealer 10 years running.
A month from now, we'll be getting ready for City SC's final match of their first season. A playoff clinch could come soon, and with a 7-point lead in the West, a first-place clinch could be on deck as well. And if they plan on being tops in the West, they need this man to keep doing his thing. Klaus got his first start since April, last match against the Galaxy, and of course he found the back of the net for a goal. It was a slow process, to say the least, of working the star striker back to action, but now that he's back to being a difference maker.
Klaus feels like a new signing. Just his energy, the way he holds people accountable in training, and the way he goes about his business in training. He works really hard. And in the game, you know, prior to his injury, he had one of the biggest sprint distances in our group. And we've seen some really good things in the Galaxy game. We've seen some great things now, again, in training. He's fit, he's healthy, he's strong.
Speaking of City SC, they teamed up with NFL Hall of Famer Aeneas Williams, Centene, and the Little Bit Foundation to help inspire some local students to reach their dreams today at Yeatman Liddell Middle School. And for the current and former athletes, it's all about spreading the message of believing in yourself.
I just wanted to give some type of positive assurance to the kids that you can be, you know, whoever you want to be, you know, work hard, be somebody that you want to be.
The support staff around here, the principal, and just the energy that these youngsters know that it's not just the environment that they're in that determines their destiny, but it's now this environment to come here and get educated, but also know that people care.
Big night at the Missouri Athletic Club. Just look at this class of newest St. Louis Sports Hall of Famers. From important sports leaders like Curtis Francois, Frank Viverito, and Carolyn Kindle, to intense competitors like Chris Pronger and the late Demetrius Johnson, it is an impressive group. Chaminade grad and NBA champion David Lee was inducted tonight as well, and he has not forgotten his St. Louis roots.
No matter how much time I spend here, it's really that feeling of growing up in the Midwest, having that work ethic to lean back on that you learn here being in a city like St. Louis. You know, me growing up looking at a guy like Larry Hughes and saying, wow, I went to his camp and he made it, so maybe I have a chance. You know, I hope that me making it gave a guy like a Brad Beal or Jason Tatum can say, wow, you know, Larry and David made it. I think we have a chance now.
How about that sound off the bat? The Cardinals are off tonight, so the Blues made use of the batting cage at Busch Stadium today. That's new forward Kevin Hayes absolutely destroying one over the fence. The Blues actually say Hayes has hit BP homers in Philly, Boston, and at Yankee Stadium, along with today's blast at Busch. Some other Blues news today: the team is bringing in forward Nick Ritchie for a professional tryout. Ritchie spent last season in Arizona and Calgary, tallying 13 goals and 13 assists in 74 games. The 27-year-old was the 10th overall pick back in 2014. It is another loaded week of high school football. We'll have tomorrow's top games on 5 on Your Sideline at 10:15. The most impressive team so far this season plays on Saturday this week, and Luther North is ready to take on anyone. The Crusaders have already made history this season. By beating Blair Oaks and Francis Howell in back-to-back weeks, they're the first high school team to defeat defending state champs in consecutive weeks ever. The roster is loaded with talent like junior QB Dakari Hollis and junior safety Carvon Jefferson, and Luther North is ready to reclaim their place on top of Missouri high school football.
I put the schedule together with the mindset that it's going to test us, it's going to make us better, we're going to have hiccups, we're going to figure it out, and then this year will be the year where we take that step forward.
It feels good, but we're not done yet. It's just hard work and preparation.
You just can't game plan for one person, you got to do it for everybody on the team.
It's like when we go against each other at practice and compete with each other, it's like you're going against the best of St. Louis.
And that'll do it for sports tonight.
Thank you, Corey. When you think of Halloween candy, you don't think of hot dogs, mac and cheese, pickles. The new offering asking, is this a trick or a treat? Archery season begins tomorrow for deer and turkey hunters in Missouri. This season, the Department of Conservation is asking hunters to donate turkey feathers and deer meat. The feathers will be used for research. The deer meat will go to food pantries across the state. Tomorrow is National Cheeseburger Day, but Wendy's is celebrating next week with a burger bargain. You can get a junior bacon cheeseburger for just a penny. The offer is good from September 18th through the 22nd, and only if you order through the Wendy's app. Just in time for Halloween, a trick that's also a treat. Kraft Heinz and Frankfurt Candy are selling variety packs of new gummy candies. The fruit-flavored sweets look like savory favorites. You can see it's Kraft mac and cheese, Oscar Mayer hot dogs, and Clausen pickles. Bags are available right now at most major retailers. Thank you for joining us for 5 on Your Side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next. Please start your day with Today in St. Louis. It begins at 4 a.m. And have a great Friday tomorrow.